So I did want to bring one thing to attention. We'll have 1,000 people in here. I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. Yesterday was the 7-year anniversary that the Islamic State started their genocide against the Yazidi people, where they slaughtered, maimed, massacred, and enslaved them. Thousands of them were killed, executed en masse, shot, and died from exposure in the Mount Sinjar region as they tried to run for their lives. And so I usually cover the importance of Operation Inherent Resolve when it comes to Kurdish rights, but I don't cover as much as how much our operation saved Yazidis in Mount Sinjar and how important that was, and how our backstabbing of the SDF, YPG, YPJ also negatively affected the Yazidi population, who has been slaughtered by ISIS. So I wanted to bring this up quick because it was like absolutely horrific what happened, and this doesn't get much international attention because it's not as flashy. But I did want to talk about this because there are videos that you can still see of by the way, here it is right here, I think, where this is American helicopters loading Yazidi girls who are going to be enslaved by ISIS if caught into helicopters and helping them transport them off of Mount Sinjar as they get fired upon by ISIS, by anti-aerial like weaponry. And it was so close that you can actually see American troops right there. They're covering their ears because American troops are directly firing at ISIS as Yazidi girls like mounted into the helicopter. That's how close the battle lines were. Now, there's some other footage that I could show you that I think is also important to see, but I do want to warn you that it's really, really gross.
When she was kidnapped, Jilan and her friend were taken to a big house.
And this is a Yazidi girl who was a survivor who was taken to a house of ISIS members where when she was 12 and she was going to be sold off as a 12-year-old into slavery. I think we all like acknowledge like ISIS's extremist groups, but they were the most disgusting organization to ever touch the Middle East in the past like 100 years, in my opinion. Like, they were the closest thing we had to like a modern like confederacy mixed with like Nazi Germany and like levels of brutality. And you want to know the worst part? Is during the end of ISIS, a lot of people don't know this, it got more extreme because the ISIS moderates, I don't know how the hell I can even say that word out loud, but the moderate wing of ISIS, quote unquote, they're not really moderate, but moderate for ISIS, was purged. And they got more extreme because the radical form of ISIS that basically declared that anybody who doesn't support ISIS is a kafir, a fake Muslim, and you will get the punishment for that, gave the coordinates to Americans of the moderate like faction of ISIS and imams within ISIS, and then our airstrikes killed them, making them more radical. Meaning that the enclaves of ISIS out there today are even more radical than like ISIS that we saw in 2014.
12. When she was kidnapped, Jilan and her friend were taken to a big house. Then, 2 men came to them.
एक يجلس بالمساري وآكل بنيمة حوالا طابقة بنيمة وأسبر ما طابقة سريع ما قلت هوني تشكنا قومي وعلمين الدين ما قلت غامنينا الورمان سعدان زي الشيبي وسا هاتنا بامام تقول لازم أبوار وكاقوتي مشخورة ببن هاتاهم بسلمان تبن.
Reminder, she was 12.
قالك يجري ما كرقوتيني فيد النبو قالك المدان جي من نزعني ويتشبنا عمري مدان زصال ومن تشتي فيهم نذكر وخد تيرام المدان وقالك المدان وشغل أخو كرجي وقا قلت يكي صار شيء صالبو من قاعد يستشكلني في لاباجي دبوكا.
By the way, yeah, am I using the Charlie Kirk Vosh debate to bring attention to this? Because, yes, because let's be real, we're about to watch a debate about critical race theory, a boogeyman that the right has made up that's taught only really in law school. Let's like talk about like a real thing that happened that doesn't get attention for like 30 for just a tiny bit, literally not even 10 minutes before we watch that debate in about 30 minutes.
أريما جيكراغوت وجوجو وهانكيا وحف سري وجي كربون شوف سري مكرن از الباها بالاخ مام هتاني فرولوي ماليدا دورا هردوك هاتن هركش مالطرم بيلا كيكرن از برما نيف عائلة خدا اسبوع كيوها از النيف عائلة تمام النيف عائلة جيدات هات هاقا في بايتي وقا قلتي شغلا خبكت هاتا بام ديار عائلة همير
عائلة وان زانت وتعدلت
اري هما زانية
يعني بتليوان يعني
اري باب تليوان بتشتغلون قلت.
They raped her in front of his family. They were public with it. Rape was a common occurrence within ISIS. It was as common as jaywalking is in the United States. You'll see somebody jaywalk, you see, what are you gonna do? You don't do anything. It's like, is it against the rules? I mean, technically, yeah. I don't even think they would consider what this was rape because they married her, the 12-year-old girl.
جراوي تشتغلنا دقو كنت من توقي قجامني وها بس مساعدك كرويجي ديار شافي اسبوع السيت قاضي ترت هذا بامل تشتغلنا قوته.
I remember the guy who wrote Killing Evil said that clips and stories like this is what motivated him to go to Syria to fight ISIS. And I can 100% see why. I think there's one more video of it that I want to show. At least I hope so. Here it is. So here is them showing off Yazidi slaves. This is real footage. And this is, again, not for the faint of heart. This is real footage of ISIS fighters showing off modern day sex slaves and laughing at their misfortune. I don't know where they were captured, these people. We don't know their names of the people in this photo. Your people will never in our lives see again. This is probably the last time in your life you're ever going to see these people. They're nameless to us. But they're human beings. And their suffering and documenting what happened to them is important. We're going to look at this. There's nothing TOS. But basically, they're bragging about the quality of the women. As you can see, the quote up top here, but blue-eyed women are worth more than others, as are those with good teeth.
صورتت كاتشكات جرتن وجيكرات شاندن كوكا كيفاتا تيدا ورش خاربو.
This is a slave auction. They are selling girls, some as young as 12, off to each other to be raped. The ISIS flag should be viewed the same way we view the Nazi swastika, in its brutality and just horrific nature. Absolutely disgusting. And the fight against ISIS was of almost equal. Of course, they weren't to the same scale or strength, but was of equal moral importance to strike them down. Anyway, I just wanted to give that a little bit of attention. Because I know most people don't know about the Yazidi genocide, even though it's the 7-year anniversary of, and it should be given the correct designation, the Yazidi genocide, where they slaughtered, killed, and enslaved Yazidi people. I'm happy I can use this little moment where people kind of are looking at my channel a little bit more than usual to show this. Ooh. I'm not saying this is an old video. Where is the updated footage? What do you mean updated footage? Do you want to see a more recent slave auction? Like, ISIS has lost its territorial ground. It's not having slave auctions like it used to. I'm sure there's still a few, like that still have slaves, enslaved peoples. Or current footage. Also, do we want to stay in the Middle East? I would say Operation Inherent Resolve is still important to continue. And when we abandoned that mission, or Trump tried to, it decreased anti-ISIS rates by 75% in a region that had gained some stability after years of terror. I think that is one of the few moral missions that we're actually doing in the world. One of the few. I'm sorry, Dylan, but as per academic rules, you need to have genocide footage at least within the past 5 years. Ah, makes sense.